Yeah, my pleasure. The shout outs and the clips are I always find them fun.
Evidence stands against that reasoning, my friend. Do we need to talk about disqualifying the positive again?
All right, I get it. I guess I've been muddling through okay.
You've been doing wonderfully. I hope you are ready for a bit of a challenge tonight. Your next client has been known to be somewhat difficult. Here, look at her intake form.
Isabella d'Este. Dang, she's got some funny taste in hats.
Okay. Isabella d'Este, 550 years old, from the Renaissance. Isabella d'Este was a key figure in the Italian Renaissance, funding the works of Leonardo da Vinci, Andrea Mantegna, and Michelangelo. She received a humanist education and knows much about history, art, music, and philosophy. She comes from a highly aristocratic background, but has endured considerable family issues through the generations. She states that she is going an, quote, existential immortality crisis, end quote, suggesting that her life and unlife have been both meaningless. Suggestion: be exceedingly polite.
I think you should get along quite well then.
There we go, yeah.
Walked right into that one.
Isabella is not your average vampire. She was once the powerful matriarch of one of the most influential families in Europe. She fraternized with popes and kings, and she also wielded great power over the art world. Some say that she was the model for the Mona Lisa.
Ooh, we have a celebrity vampire.
One of them highfalutin types, huh? I don't think she's gonna like me much.
She is as human as any of us, Samuel. I already know you will find a way to relate with her.
If you say so.
Remember, you can always seek my advice if you feel lost. You are not alone. But I hear the beating of elegant wings. Breathe, Samuel. Oh, and do be polite.
Goodness. So you are the new therapist Andromachus told me of. I was not expecting someone so rugged.
Rugged? Rustic? Maybe?
Sam Walls at your service, ma'am.
You are a therapist.
Well, that's what I'm here for, ma'am.
Enough with this, ma'am. I am not running a whorehouse. You may call me Senora.
Signora. Well, here we go again with Americans and their pronunciations. All right, Senora. All right, Senora. All right, Senora. Yeah, Jen. This game is by Little Bat Games, a group out of Berlin. They like having pops at Americans every now and again. Not only with their struggle with foreign languages, but also how deeply uncomfortable they are around topics of sex. Not saying they're wrong necessarily. I feel personally attacked at times. So it is quite fun, and I will say, possibly useful as well. I think we're gonna get wrapped on the knuckles no matter which one we choose.
All right, Senora.
You have seen my what? Have you been peeking under my skirts, young man?
How?
Huh? What are you talking about, lady?
Signora. Say it.
Signora.
Signora.
Signora. Signora.
Signora. God, it's like you're in Inglourious Bastards, and I'm Brad Pitt.
Signora?
Porca miseria, this is not going to be easy, is it?
Porca miseria? Miserable pork? I don't know. My Italian's not much better than my German.
Therapy ain't never easy, Senora.
So, therapy is always easy then?
I said it ain't never easy, Senora.
Is therapy easy or is it not?
Not, I guess.
Oh, how are we to examine my inner demons if your own speech is so diabolical?
You know what? Let's start over. Greetings and salutations, Senora. I am most honored to receive you in my humble office.
See, now, Sam, why didn't we just start with that?
Very well. I suppose it will do.
I'm just here to help, Senora. It says here on your intake forms that you've been having a tough time lately.
A tough time. Indeed, yes, it has been a tough time. The realization that not only am I a corpse, but that I have been a useless corpse for nearly 400 years is a tough time.
Okay, but why useless?
So what's it off this feeling that you're a corpse?
Oh, thank you for the clip, Ruek. I will. Miss Proca miseria. Yeah, miserable pork. That's what it means, right?
I saw a film at the cinema.
Ooh, which film?
Hey, I love the cinema.
Over her Hollywood glamour? I don't think she'd like that. Actors? She probably doesn't like actors either. So yeah, what about the movies?
Well, not many of our kind are movie buffs. What are some of your favorite films?
I would hesitate to say favorite, but there are some films that are more acceptable than others. For instance, Beneath the Velvet Dusk or In Search of Sadness are engaging explorations of the mortal condition.
Ah, a hipster.
Oh, I ain't heard of them. You ever seen The Three Stooges?
Now that's cinema.
Utter vulgarity. I do not waste my time with such nonsense. Alas, these Stooges 3 would be preferable to the abomination I saw at the cinema that made me realize just how dead I am.
Wow, that must have been a hell of a film.
It was a most terrible film, one that shook me to my core. The pain of it lingers with me still 5 years later.
Well, movies can be pretty powerful. Heck, I remember seeing one of the first films. There was a train coming right for the audience. We thought we were dead for sure.
This film was not powerful, it was meaningless. It said nothing, did nothing, less than nothing, as loudly and garishly as possible.
Was it a Michael Bay film?
And the audience, fools that they were, cheered, applauded this desecration of the mind. I hate this film with all my being, for it has done the cruelest thing. It has revealed the dark truth. This life that I cling to has no purpose.
Okay. I'm curious as to how it made that point.
Dang, what the heck was this movie?
Agreed, Sam.
Space Wars. Rise of the Spacewalker.
Oh. Oh, that one. Okay, I can see where the existential crisis might have come from. I make no positive or negative statements as to the film in question. I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying I understand.
Well, wait a minute. Space Wars, the big science fiction franchise?
Yes, I believe it is important to understand modern media diets.
There you go. See, Isabella's reaching out. She's trying to understand the modern world. Good for her.
But that's the movie that gave you your personal crisis?
Mind your tone. Do not think me a fool. I know it was not high art. But the money it made, it would make even the Pope blush. This stinking trash. This is what the people want. You see, I understand now. My attempts to infuse art with meaning were pointless. All that I am, all that I ever was, is dead.
Okay. There is definitely some labeling going on. Maybe borderline disqualifying the positive. It could also be a control fallacy in that she's feeling that she had the ability to infuse art with meaning. All that I am, all that I ever was, is dead. It's black and white thinking that is also labeling. But which one is it more? I'm going to try labeling.
For such a complicated woman, the answers are overly simple for Signora d'Este, are they not, Samuel?
Okay, well, we missed one.
You see, I understand now. My attempts to infuse art with meaning were pointless. All that I am, all that I ever was, is dead.
You don't seem that dead to me. We're having this conversation, ain't we? You ain't just lying there decomposing.
It is no different. I might as well be rotting in the ground.
I think you might get pretty bored.
Are you getting smart with me, boy?
Imagine thinking Sam's getting smart.
Look, I'm just talking facts. If you're saying all you are is dead, I think you might be doing some Nosferatu thinking. It ain't black and white, you're here. But let's go back to what you were saying.
Once, I elevated art, and all the world benefited. Why have I lost my power to elevate art now?
Okay, that strikes me as a control fallacy. Like the entire world benefiting, but also assuming she's lost her power to elevate art now. Why can't you?
All the world benefited? There's a lot of people, and they got a lot of different preferences. You can't get them all, can you?
But I could, once upon a time.
Well, yeah, when the only people consuming art was a small group of elites within a city-state or two. That's a much smaller audience to deal with. Now you're dealing with an audience of however many 7-8 billion people.
You can't reach everybody, Signora. I hadn't even heard of the Mona Lisa until about 1911.
Okay, maybe not the best example, Sam.
Did you have any schooling whatsoever?
No, I didn't. But I don't think anyone in my time knew about the Mona Lisa either.
Oh, how wonderful. You add to my despair.
I'm saying you can't reach everyone, even in your own time.
That is true. I doubt the rabble had much of an opinion about the so-called great masters.
We only know what we know. But you were saying.
It was all for nothing. What good was guiding Da Vinci when they sell the Mona Lisa on beer coasters?
Okay. I think that's disqualifying the positive. Guiding Da Vinci, positive. Selling Mona Lisa on beer coasters. So the fact that they sell the Mona Lisa on beer coasters, one, I didn't know they did that. But two, that doesn't disqualify all the good she did guiding Da Vinci.
Oh, come on now. Just because the Mona Lisa's been on a coaster doesn't mean that's all it's ever been for. I think you might be downplaying just what an impact you've had on the world.
The world needs no help from me to reduce my life's efforts to cheap commodities.
So just because something gets printed on a t-shirt, that cancels out everything that's good about it?
Yes, that is exactly what it does.
And I thought I was good at disqualifying the positive.
It should not be so. Art should have meaning, purpose. Beauty should expose truth.
Okay, that's a trifecta right there.
You're saying art should have meaning and purpose, but does all art need those things?
Yeah, are you telling me Untitled Goose Game has both meaning and purpose? Okay, bad example.
What is the purpose of creation otherwise?
How about if I just like doodling? Ain't that a good enough reason to draw?
It is a pointless reason.
Well, maybe I want to do something pointless. All I'm saying is that I don't have the same shoulds you do.
Perhaps you should.
But I don't. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Which is speak like a peasant.
Heck, that's what I am, Signora. Ain't nothing gonna change that reality. Let's get back to what you were saying.
But it seems I am just a dead woman. A walking corpse who is not worth listening to. I should walk into the sun.
Okay, there is a should there, but no, she's calling herself a dead woman, a walking corpse. That's a double label right there.
Now, why have you got to go and call yourself names?
They are not names, they are my reality. I am a dead woman, and I am a corpse, am I not?
Is that all you are?
This is how I am defined by the world.
Is that how you define yourself?
Seems to me you're the one using them names. Hell, I think I'd be a little afraid of calling you a corpse.
As you should be. Allow me to continue. You know, you make me sound rather mad. Like an old woman, railing at the world, screaming into the void, all to no purpose.
Well, video games will do that.
Look, Signora, all I'm trying to do is show you where you're a little rigid in your thinking is all. You're expecting a lot from the world and a lot from yourself. It ain't no surprise that you're gonna be disappointed over and over again.
I suppose that is some insight. Indeed, I have been in a state of disappointment from the moment I was 16.
What happened when you were 16?
I got married.
Okay, in Renaissance Italy, not that surprising a statement.
I think I get it.
You absolutely do not get it. You are a man.
Well then, help me understand.
Frankie, my husband. He taught me the meaning of disappointment.
Frankie? Is this like Marcus Aurelius?
He taught me the world was built upon lies. These things men proclaim as values. Truth, beauty, the spiritual. They were all fiction. But if men did not live according to principle, I would. I would set the example and shame them all. Yet, what a fool I have been to think humanity had greater aims.
So, what's this greater aim you're talking about?
I received a humanist education as a child. I was taught that the pathway to God was through rationality and a questioning mind, not slavish devotion to tradition.
Okay, yeah, I guess for Renaissance Italy, that was probably as humanist as it gets. You couldn't just be a full-on atheist. The Il Papi would look poorly upon that. And even being fabulously wealthy can't get you shielded from all that.
This world is not Eden, but it could be. Or so I thought.
So you're talking about a literal pathway to God?
No, fool. A pathway to godliness. To live according to our natures. Our true natures.
And what is our true nature? Being nudist? Being a vampire? Being Italian? Okay, well, Renaissance Italy, definitely not nudist. Maybe the art, but definitely not everyday life.
You mean being vampires?
Come now, boy. Nothing could be further from natural. All this foolish hissing and copulation and blood drinking does not bring us closer to God. But it does give us more time to find the path.
Well, talk to me about this pathway to God. How do you reckon we find this path?
I reckon nothing. I've always known that we can find our way back to God by fulfilling our human potential to be the greatest souls possible.
Okay, not disqualifying the positive, not labeling, not really should. So I've always known that we can find our way back to God by fulfilling our human potential to be the greatest souls possible. So is that black or white thinking, or is that assuming control that we don't have, or assuming a lack of control when we do have? I feel like that's probably assuming control we don't have.
You really think we've got that much control, Senora? All we got to do is be perfect, and then we've got our pathway to the Almighty?
Yes, it seems quite clear to me.
Attaining perfection seems rather out of the reach. If there's one thing our cumulative history has told us, it's that we can strive for perfection all we want, but we're pretty much inevitably going to fall short.
Senora, if that's how it is, it ain't no wonder you ain't forgiving yourself or anyone for the slightest mistakes. I would ask myself if anyone really has that much control. But keep talking.
I have always known we must master ourselves and our baser instincts. Virtue must triumph over vice.
Okay, and I think as we saw in the initial examples, must can be also kind of a should statement.
You know, there have been many entities over time that have tried to control humanity. They have all failed, and the Signora would do well to remember it.
Okay, maybe not.
I have always known we must master ourselves and our baser instincts. Virtue must triumph over vice.
Okay, so if not that, it's we must master ourselves and our
You've been around a while, Senora. In all that time, when have we mastered ourselves and our baser instincts?
Not a single day. Men especially have no bottom to their depravity.
All right, fair enough. So us fellas have disappointed you every day for a few hundred years, right? Ain't that proof that nothing you do is gonna change that?
An evil thought, Mr. Sam Walls, but true, I concede.
We're in agreement then. It's a little bit of a control fallacy to think that's gonna change because of you. Let's keep going.
I have always known that the earthly lives we lead are disgusting, and only war and death can come of them.
Okay, it's disgusting, but it's not in reference to her. Only war and death. Okay, that is black and white thinking.
Now, hold up just a sec there, cowpoke. You really think all we can do is sow death and destruction?
Yeah, I don't think she's going to take kindly to that.
I do not poke cows. Do I look like a farmer?
Come on, Senora. You've been alive to see what? 15, 20 billion people live and die? You really saying death and destruction is all each and every one of them ever amounted to?
Well, perhaps not individually, but as an immortal, I look at the greater arc of history.
Well, most of us ain't looking to contribute to the greater arc of history, but that don't mean life's pointless. That's some Nosferatu thinking, I'll tell you what. But let's continue.
I have always known the people have become fat and lazy, and living within the Garden of Eden is impossible in such a state.
Okay. See, not should, not disqualifying. People have become fat and lazy. Living within the Garden of Eden is impossible in such a state. I think it's either Nosferatu thinking or a control fallacy. I don't. Because yep, the black and white thinking would suggest it's either it's living within the Garden of Eden, so we're either it's perfect or it's nothing, or control fallacy, like we have it assumes we have the ability to or we I don't. Yeah, this one is more difficult than the Dr. Drayne conversation.
Our esteemed client is very good at coming up with names for others, isn't she? Perhaps you can call her out on this behavior.
I have always known the people have become fat and lazy, and living within the Garden of Eden is impossible in such a state.
Okay, so labeling others counts too?
Sounds to me like you're coming up with labels for kicking people out of the Garden of Eden.
Okay, I was under the assumption that labeling only applied to oneself. I guess you can. It makes sense. You can label others too.
Is that all we amount to? Fat and lazy?
Look around your own country, boy. Look at me. See my disgusting rolls and saggy features. Would you let me into the Garden of Eden?
Well, sure. Why the heck not?
I am glad you are not the gatekeeper, then.
You rather have a gatekeeper who wouldn't let you in? Listen, Senora, you gotta go easy on yourself with them labels. Well, let's keep talking, though.
I have always known we should act with dignity if we would take our place at God's side once more.
Okay, we should act with dignity if we're gonna. Okay, again, so it's again arbitrary rules.
I think this here's the meat of it, Senora. The filet mignon.
Okay, so Sam's Italian is as good as his German, is as good as his Greek.
I fear your French is even worse than your Italian.
Thank you.
Here's the thing, Senora. Who came up with all them shoulds that'll take you to God?
Why, the greatest thinkers of history that I studied in my youth. Plato, Aristotle, Cicero, Aquinas.
All men, though.
Sounds like a bunch of dead guys to me. They really had it all figured out way back when, huh?
Well, of course not. How foolish do you think me?
Not at all, Senora. Just questioning where all them shoulds are coming from. But let's keep going.
So you think you are so very clever, do you, boy? That by pointing out my distortions, you have won? That is where you are truly the fool. I already know how wrong I have been, that I have been chasing an impossible fiction all my life. Indeed, I now believe that even if we did follow the pathway to God, once we reached the end, we would discover that he, too, was a work of fiction. When I say God, I mean goodness, propriety, intelligence. God himself is a lie.
Well, yeah, nihilism isn't a cognitive distortion, or at least not yet.
I see. So you've lost your faith.
Yes, it has crumbled to dust, much like myself in this fat, wretched old body. Beauty and truth are lies. Ideas developed by ugly men to justify their existence. While we occupy ourselves chasing those ideals, they create space wars to leech our money and our vitality.
I feel like if Aristotle, Plato, and Cicero made Star Wars, or excuse me, Space Wars, it would have hit a little differently.
And to think they call me judgmental while they created the false ideal to judge against. You don't think I'm judgmental, do you, boy?
Yes.
I wouldn't put it that way exactly. Besides, I ain't gonna call you names. In fact, that's where I think I want to challenge you. Senora, I think the person you're judging more than anyone is yourself. I know you got raised with all them high ideals, so of course you're getting disappointed when nobody can reach them. That's some heavy pressure, not just on them, but on yourself. I'd ask yourself what all that pressure's doing for you. Is it bringing you any satisfaction? We can't always control what things are gonna be.
This is not acceptable.
Okay, not a lot to go on there. Yeah, it's not really a should, not control. Yeah, so acceptable, not acceptable, black and white thinking?
Hold on, I know this one. What the heck she mean it's unacceptable to not be in control all the time? Let's say that again, Senora.
I said it is not acceptable for things to be as they are.
I got some bad news for you, Senora. None of us really has the power to change the world on our own. Not even a clever lady like yourself. I suggest we start working on ways of helping you find a way to accept the world for what it is.
But the world is base and unworthy.
Remember that term I told you about? Nosferatu thinking? You're gonna strip all the color out of the world if you keep doing that. The world's a lot more than just base and unworthy.
Nosferatu thinking. I am not used to having my own thoughts thrown back at me.
Well, what is therapy for if not throwing your own thoughts right back at you?
Well, that's why you're here, ain't it? I ain't gonna help you change the world, Senora. All I can do is help you find some other perspectives.
I suppose there is a certain simpleton's wisdom in the way you speak.
Thanks, I guess.
Very well, boy. I will consider what you have said. We will meet again in exactly 4 weeks. Do we have an understanding?
Yes, indeed, Senora.
Ugh. Please learn to speak properly by then.
I don't think 4 weeks is going to do it.
Well done, Samuel. I believe you handled Senora d'Este quite well.
You kidding? That lady straight up hates my guts.
Samuel, if Isabella d'Este hated your guts, she would not be shy about telling you so.
That I believe.
Older we get, the harder it is to gain a different perspective. Have patience. We are not all as wise as Samuel Walls.
Guess it's just that simpleton's wisdom, as the Senora called it.
Do not adopt her labels, Samuel. I will not stand for it. I know she was a challenge, but you rose to it as I knew you would. I think you deserve a night of hard drinking. What do you say?
You don't need to tell me twice. All right, Andy. I'll see you later then.
Indeed, Samuel. Enjoy yourself. Excellent work tonight. Rest in peace.
Now, I think it was here where the demo cut off. So from here on, we're in new territory. Yes, OBS, I know the encoding is overloaded. Just work with me here.
Dang, I think that's enough abuse for one night. I could use a drink and a quiet night.
Oh, we have session notes. Okay. Isabella d'Este thinks her life was meaningless because modern art is meaningless too. Apparently, this Rise of the Spacewalker movie set her off. Extremely high-minded, major issues with her former husband, thinks most people are corrupt, especially menfolk. Used to be a devout Catholic, not so much anymore. Likes to be in control, maybe a lot of control fallacies. Next time I'll dig into the family stuff. Seems like there's lots of anger there. Yeah, 550 years worth, probably. Now, let's see. We'll do our first client, Dr. Drayne here. A name that is so on point, it should be out of a Marvel comic. Dr. Drayne is addicted to a plasma that makes him black out and do things he dislikes doing. Likes a logical approach, doesn't sleep. Irritable, maybe because he's not sleeping. Loves should statements, maybe a fair amount of disqualifying the positive. Obsessed with work, doesn't seem to like vampires, ? Next time, I should figure out what the heck this plasma stuff actually does.
Hey, cowboy. Why the long face?
I used to say the same thing to my princess.
Your daughter.
My horse, actually. She never really understood the joke, but I still like telling it to her.
You didn't answer my question, Gunslinger. What's got you down?
Oh, I just finished up with my second client. She gave me a tongue lashing to remember her by. You ever talk to someone who's so educated and refined that they make you feel like a space alien?
Only everyone I ever met in law school. At least until I learned to speak their language.
You're a lawyer?
Was, and no, I wasn't the blood-sucking kind before you start with the vampire jokes. Just a wide-eyed DC do-gooder. But I get what you're talking about. People can use language like a membership card. You don't speak the lingo, you don't get in.
Yep. Strong agree there. Whether it's, law school, grad school of any kind, or even just like professional associations. Like if you ask people to define terms that they think are, basic stuff, then they will usually think less of you.
Well, that's just what I mean. I just ain't sure I've got the lingo for a 500-year-old high society Renaissance woman.
Well, how do you think your session went? Think she heard you?
Actually, these are not mutually exclusive. I think it was awful, and I think she heard us. But let's say positive.
Well, she did say that I'd given her some stuff to think about. And to tell the truth, she seemed kind of embarrassed about that.
So what? If she heard you, I'd take the W, cowboy.
Take the W? What, the wagon?
The win, Gramps. Maybe she isn't gonna relate to you, but that doesn't mean she can't hear you.
Oh, you're probably right. I guess I'll take the W. And while you're at it, I'll take some B too. That's blood, see?
Thank you for the explanation, Sam.
What are you in the mood for? Men? Women? Something a little more off the beaten path?
I think I'll have some takeaway tonight. What have you got?
Here, try this. Should put some color in those cheeks.
You really ain't squeamish, huh, Crimson?
Nah. Healthy blood never hurt anyone. I've been hanging around vampires for 20 years, and they aren't so scary.
Not even Bert?
What, that old pointy-eared teddy bear? He's a total sweetheart, unless someone gets aggressive or touchy with the customers.
What does he do then?
They get a stern warning.
Well, from Bert, that's probably all it takes.
And if they don't listen?
Why, then he eats them.
Maybe he is a teddy bear. I met Teddy Roosevelt back in the night, and I'm pretty sure he would have done the same thing. Speaking of which, I gotta thirst something fierce. I think I'll head back to my coffin for a little rest. But you have a good night, Crimson.
You too, Sam. Don't let the Draculas bite.
Time to crack open a warm one.
Yeah, so we didn't have the little exchange with Crimson there in the demo, so kind of a warm one. Well, okay. I mean, Ruak, do you know what the proper temperature is for serving human blood? I don't know. Is it like, do you serve it cold like an American would, or do you serve it warm like a Brit would?
That's the good stuff. Now, maybe I can find a quote from one of my favorite books that'll help give me a little inspiration. Or I could watch the Three Stooges hit each other a whole bunch.
Oh, Sam, you're gonna watch the Three Stooges, aren't you?
Or I could just go to sleep. What's it gonna be, Sammy boy?
Oh, we have a choice! Hooray! So we can read through, watch Three Stooges, get something. Now, are the Three Stooges in public domain? Because earlier we had a clip from Nosferatu. Okay, but if we're gonna get on a 500-year-old Renaissance woman's level, maybe we should do a little book learning.
My profession is to be always on the alert, to find God in nature, to know his lurking places. I always like that quote. I ain't a God-fearing kind, but it's true. There's a natural beauty behind the man-made world if you know where to look.
Still not able to. Wow. Yeah, I guess your place of business has been cloud struck something fierce, Will. I hope you've. They're not going to make you stick around to make it up, especially with all this happening on a Friday of all days. It's going to be days. Oh wow. Oh wow. So what are you, or what can you do? Oh, you're off next week. Okay, so you're not going to do shit. And good for you. Yes, enjoy the heck out of that vacation. Let others deal with whatever's on fire. That is probably that's the most intelligent way to go about it. I support that decision.
Isabella d'Este's all culture and breeding, but underneath, she's got her vulnerable and beautiful humanity too. I just gotta remember that. Oh, all right, that's enough for one night. Time for some rest. I hope my next client will be a little easier.
Samuel, good evening. I am glad to see you looking so fresh and well slept.
Okay, so we're actually having a whole week in between sessions. So I think we're gonna have so we're gonna have 4 clients, 1 a week, and then in 3 weeks' time we're gonna come back with Dr. Drayne, and then Isabella, and then whoever is coming up next. So yeah, I agree, Ruex. 4 clients sounds like what we're going to be dealing with. So, I had a doozy of a client tonight by the name of Isabella d'Este. Holy hell, that is one strong lady. I was shaking my boots half the time talking to her. I read up on her Wikipedia and was glad I hadn't done that before our session. I would have been even more scared. I'm surprised we could even have a conversation. She was Pope Leo X's sister-in-law. How the heck do you deal with family like that? I've had a nice week otherwise. Been exploring the graveyards here in Leipzig. They're real fancy here. Guess it ain't no surprise the place has so many goths. So more fancy cemeteries equals more goths? How do you explain Seattle then? Anyway.
Uh-oh, something tells me I'm in for it tonight.
The truth is seldom unseen by you, my friend. Tonight, you face perhaps one of the most difficult challenges a therapist can face. The fact that you may not be able to help everyone. In truth, I have failed to help clients with this particular disposition many times.
Oh boy, this does sound ominous.
Hey, I'm new at this. You're nigh on 3,000 years old. If you can't help them, how can I?
It is not guaranteed that we can help every client. To think we are powerless to help any is a cognitive distortion itself. I believe you know it.
Oh, they shuffled the buttons down here. No, that is so assuming we have no power is a control fallacy.
Yeah, all right, control fallacy, I know. I can help some folk.
That's right. Here, take a look at this case file.
Theater feller, huh? I've known a few of them in my time. They can be a little, self-absorbed.
Edmund Keane, 237, British. Edmund Keane was a highly influential Shakespearean stage actor during the Georgian period. He is credited with more personal interpretations of character as opposed to pantomime performances. he lived a tumultuous life on stage, dealing with alcoholism, sex scandals, and entitled behavior. An entitled actor? Heaven forfend. He wishes to return to the stage, but expresses great anger at critics who might review him poorly. Might they also cotton on to the fact that he's Edmund Keane, age 237? He demands respect as the greatest actor the world has ever seen. I'm having flashbacks to John Lovitz on Saturday Night Live, but we'll let that ride. I know, Jen, something the world has never seen before.
He's looking for therapy because people don't like him, it says?
He is one of the most revered actors in all of history.
Now, I think this is actually, like the Isabella d'Este, I think this is actually based on a real person who may or may not currently be a vampire.
So he might have a few cognitive distortions.
A few. He may not recognize them, Samuel, but all you can do is present reality to him. He comes. Remember, I will give you whatever advice I can. Good luck, my friend.
I hope I'm up to this.
What is this vampire I see before me?
Ho! Is this a dagger we see before us?
I'm Sam Walls. I'm your new therapist.
Your dress, your bearing, your hat. You also are forgotten by time.
I mean, look in the mirror, bud.
Oh, how fortuitous! A kindred spirit, perhaps. A therapist should know pain, I say. Most excellent.
Tarnation. Can't get a break with this here hat of mine.
No, it's perfect. Do not change a single thing. It gives me faith. Faith, my dear vampire, that you can help me.
Okay, yeah, we're just going in with 2 feet straight away.
I'm gonna do everything I can. I promise you that, amigo.
Do not do so lightly. Darkness dwells within my damned soul. You journey into my pain at your peril, and I cannot be your Virgil.
You're who now? Anyway, you wrote in your intake form that you're here because...
Okay, not that. You know what? I'm going to go out and say he's not confused at all. I think our Edmund here knows exactly who he is. His voice sounds very Dumbledore. Could be. Yeah, he's got that very highborn, very high society kind of sound to him. But, no, mortals don't appreciate you.
Well, mortals don't appreciate you, you said.
Indeed, and I fear they cannot. They must die to appreciate life. As mortals, they cannot ask the immortal questions.
Wait. If mortals cannot ask the immortal questions, then who wrote this game? Did vampires make Vampire Therapist? Folks, I think we've cracked this one wide open.
What is life for us who do not live? Why are we here? Why do we continue? What do we do when death has no meaning? And what a piece of work is vampire! How noble in stature, how infinite in life!
Okay, well now you're just riffing on Shakespeare. Okay. Now if you've been in theater, and Edmund. And if you don't step in, they have a monologue ready and they're going to go for it. I say we let him go.
In form and moving, how express and admirable. In action, how like a demon. In apprehension, how like a bat. Ah, the beauty of the night!
No, brother, keep going.
And yet, to me, we are but the quintessence of dust.
After all, we're a therapist. We're here to listen, right? Okay, overindulge the actor.
Dust upon dust. Already that whence we came.
Well, that was a lot.
We got an achievement. Theater buff. Let Edmund perform his monologue. Okay, so I think we're leaning in here.
You understand, don't you? Death has no meaning, because life never had meaning. To die, perchance to sleep.
He doesn't have a second monologue, though, does he?
All right, that's enough of that. Before we answer the question of why we're all here, why are you here?
Thank you, Sam. Lasso this wild pony.
Well, that is, what exactly drove you to me, partner?
Oh, that. Well, a pustule of a theatre historian I recently seduced and killed sprang the seeds of doubt in mine corpus.
Okay, that took a turn.
He was writing a biography of the great Edmund Keane, and I thought mayhap that I would favor him with a secret or two.
And then...
He said my acting style would now be considered archaic.
Yeah?
Though I drank him to the last, I fear his cruel barb was sharper than my fangs. This embossed carbuncle of corrupted blood caused me, to doubt myself. Are all men such fools? Will I ever find my audience again? Or did they die long, long ago? Help me purge these mortal concerns from my mind, dear man.
We're always gonna have doubts, compadre. That's normal. But I think I can help you see things a little differently. So, he said your acting's out of date. Why don't you just tell me why it bothered you so much?
Because it's simply not possible. Acting became a noble craft entirely because of me. In truth, I am perfect.
Okay, that acting became a noble craft entirely because of me, says someone who never left England, most likely. Yeah, that's a control fallacy.
Hold on a sec there, partner. Acting became a noble craft because of you? That's a lot of control over a whole skill.
Yes, impressive, isn't it? So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so lives mine art, and this gives life to thee.
Well, those are some pretty words. You make that up yourself?
It is the bard himself, boor.
Well, maybe he had something to do with the development of your craft then. It ain't been just you.
Well, naturally. But Shakespeare's works are simply words upon a page without me.
Compadre, I think you know he gave you a leg up in your career. You can share in the success a little.
Oh, there are celebrated actors in these times, yes. But any success they have is due to my beating the path for them to follow.
Okay, it is claiming a lot of control, but he's disqualifying other people's positives. Now, so labeling others counts, maybe disqualifying others as positives counts too?
Oh, wait a minute. You're saying that every actor's success comes straight from you?
Okay, there we go.
Of course. Even the greatest among my art would have been consigned to obscurity had it not been for my advancements.
Every single one of them ain't had nothing of their own to give to the theater?
Well, I suppose one or two actors in the last 300 years have impressed me.
Really? Name them.
Well, don't you think they deserve their own success?
I suppose mortals are owed their 15 minutes of fame. One must have some pity for them. We are not monsters. But the actors of modern times, they are shallow, beggarly parrots. Parrots who screech the lines, but do they know them? Do they feel as we feel?
Yeah, that definitely, shallow, beggarly parrots who screech the lines feels a lot like labeling.
So you're saying modern actors are parrots?
Indeed. They are only mimics, and thus no better than a well-trained bird.
You don't think they're actually birds, do you?
My dear boy, they live such short lives. What else can they do but ape the words and actions of their forebears?
But when you call them birds, you're just labeling them that. You ain't giving them a fair shot.
Oh, come now. I was clearly employing a little dramatic license.
I don't think you're capable of employing only a little dramatic license, Edmund.
But we're here to talk about truth, all right, compadre?
It is my gentle direction that takes the craft to higher echelons, and mine alone. Acting does not evolve without me.
But this guy is just rocking the control fallacies. Or is it Nosferatu thinking black and white? No. Or is it? I mean, I think, okay, I'm going to go with my initial reaction. It is assuming again, my direction that takes the craft to higher echelons and mine alone.
You're saying only you can change the course of acting?
It is demonstrably true. There is acting before Edmund Keane, and there is acting after Edmund Keane.
But there's so many types of acting out there. I mean, I remember when vaudeville came out, but I don't think you had anything to do with that.
Vaudeville? Oh, like so many American arts, an art of the grotesque. You plunge a dagger into the heart of subtlety.
So you didn't have nothing to do with vaudeville?
Oh, devils below, no.
Well, then you got a little control fallacy, hombre. Mortals got wills of their own.
Indeed. I suppose I don't want any responsibility for the things the Americans create anyway.
I like that. I like that they didn't. You know, you can't really turn that into a word, I suppose. I appreciate them skipping over that.
These critics should honor me, as is my due.
Says who?
You're saying critics should honor you. Well, what happens if they don't?
Then they are not doing their jobs properly. I do not ask for their laudations without cause. But if a so-called critic does not recognize my contributions to the theater, what do they know of the theater?
Maybe they just got different tastes.
Uneducated taste, perhaps.
If they are just uneducated, why should they appreciate you?
An interesting point. I suppose I cannot blame them. Thou fiend! You are cruel indeed to beat a man when he is at his most vulnerable.
Oh, it sounds mostly like you're beating yourself there.
I am here so you may help me cope with a world that has gone mad. Not so you might attack my every word.
I'm doing no such thing. All I'm doing is pointing out your reality. If we're gonna cope, we gotta be honest about the world.
And I say that you are a villain. I come to you in desperate need, and you respond by mocking my desperation. Why would you do this to me? Do you not know what pain I am experiencing? Do you not know that I, as an actor, feel every sling and arrow more keenly? Art thou a therapist or a murderer that you would push me so to the brink? Do you want me to commit suicide?
I don't know. You're making a heck of an argument for it.
I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to hurt you. I want to help everyone who comes to me.
Samuel, a moment, please.
Andy, I got a real problem here. I think I'm not cut out for this work. This fella's right. Why am I attacking him when I should be helping?
Where's the attacks, though?
First of all, should statement. You will do what you will do, and that is all, Samuel. But look at the candles. What do you see?
The candles? Oh, they seem fine to me.
Look at the flames.
Wait a minute. They're getting higher, ain't they? What the hell's going on?
Oh, okay. So I think they've heightened the movement of the fireplace back here.
Your client is very powerful. He has his own unique skills earned through the ages. His skill in gaslighting is so intense that it affects the world around him.
Aha!
He is altering reality to fit his distortions. Be watchful, Samuel. Do not let him.
How do I stop it?
Be persistent, and above all, be honest. He does not control your reality. I await your apology, sir.
Yeah. So I have nothing to apologize for. I, a therapist, am doing my job.
I don't have anything to apologize for. All I did was point out some truths in the things you were saying. Now, if that makes you angry, fella, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, there's a little double clutch there. Hang on, let me just make a quick note of that. Maybe pop them a message later.
You wound me, but I am strong. I persist. I fight. I know my worth, sir. I have fought and died for my art. I shall take my business elsewhere, and vampire society shall hear of your quackery. Stop him, Samuel. It is not anger, but fear that drives him. Show him he has nothing to fear from you.
I don't think he'll take particularly kindly to either of them. I wasn't trying to rally you up none.
I wasn't trying to rile you up none.
Yet I bared my undead soul to you, and you treated me like a pincushion with your sharp pricks.
Pricks ain't got nothing to do with this, Edmund.
And now you seek to proposition me? Of course, it always goes like this. To you I am a void, nay, a whore, to use as you please. Well, you are all alike, I say. Go on then, use me. You are losing him, Samuel. It is time to remember what makes you special. You are not just a therapist, and you are not just a vampire. He is afraid, but you will conquer his fear.
Okay, they dropped that last line there, too. Okay, I guess we were going to go through these regardless.
Easy, boy, easy.
I shall not go easy. I shall not.
Ain't nobody gonna hurt you. There's a good vampire.
A good vampire? What on hell?
You're safe now. Ain't nobody here to hurt you or make you feel bad.
So we gotta treat him like a horse? I mean, nothing else has worked. Might as well.
But
I'm your buddy. That's us. We're just buddies, ain't we?
buddies? Yes. A friend. A friend. A friend who wishes to help me.
Yeah, exactly, Rurak. So if he's going to be thrashing around like a bucking bronco, you might as well treat him like one.
You feeling better there, compadre?
I must confess that I am, though I scarcely understand how.
Hey, well, that's just great. I want this to be a comfortable place for you.
Yes. Yes, I do believe you. After all, your profession is in many ways similar to acting. It is no wonder that we find common ground.
How is therapy like acting?
It is the exploration of the soul, is it not? A journey into pain and truth.
Yes, I was wondering about that because you heard that whinny in the background. So I think it was... that was definitely a solution I did not expect. See, I thought he was gonna, take poorly to being like treated as though he was an animal, like calling him boy and all that. But no, apparently that was what it took.
We see those pains and truths and reflect them onto the cruel world.
I ain't sure I quite see it like that, but it's true that reflecting is important. Kind of funny when we can't look in a mirror, huh?
One of death's cruel ironies. Thus must we see our reflections in the mortal audience instead.
You care a lot about what the mortals think about you.
Of course I do. Why should I give a fig about what we dusty old folk think, eh? Most of us are stuck in our relative pasts, if you'll pardon the offense.
But all them folks die. You're what, 300 years old?
Don't remind me. Yes, they die, but I cannot. I must not. If I do not exist in their hearts, there is only the purgatory of oblivion.
Okay, there's another if-then statement. That is, then Nosferatu thinking.
You cannot, you must not. You're talking like there's only one future.
For me, there is only one future, save oblivion.
Come on now, that's a little extreme.
'Tis not so. What else have I but the stage?
Well, that's a fine question. I'll tell you what, though, compadre, you are more than the stage. What if theater just didn't exist?
Perish the thought. Perish it with all due enmity. Unlike some vampires, I am not some blood-guzzling parasite who will idly sit and wait as the world turns.
Okay, blood-guzzling parasite does feel like a label.
You calling most of our kind parasites?
I am, for that is what we are, if we are nothing else.
All right, let's just forget the part where you're insulting other vampires, myself included. If you say that you're a parasite if you don't do something, you're gonna be scared as hell of not doing that thing.
As an immortal, I aim for loftier goals.
Yeah, see, we heard this with Isabella.
Can you hit those goals if you're busy being afraid of turning into a parasite?
Ah, but your humble speech does belie the true wisdom beneath. I am indeed cruel to myself. I died for the stage, so I should live for it as well.
Again, says who?
Well, why should you live for the stage?
What was my death worth if the stage does not matter?
But it's only you who's saying your death ain't worth something. Your shoulds are fatal. Ain't that a lot of pressure?
Perhaps. though one might argue that all great actors must be forged in fire.
Yeah, my understanding is that vampires and fire don't go well together.
But is acting really the most important thing in the world?
I shall assume that you jest. Vampire society is of no use to me. We are so few, and I cannot have an adoring crowd without a crowd.
Okay. I cannot have an adoring crowd without a crowd. Okay, so... It's not a should. It's not. I think maybe a control fallacy. He's saying like it cannot have an adoring crowd without a crowd. So I think he's yes. It's Nosferatu again. Well, it is. Yeah, it is kind of black and white thinking. And so it can't have a crowd without. So again, if you want to rearrange that, it's like if I don't have a huge audience, I might as well not act at all. Yeah, it is very much an all. Yeah, I agree, Jen. It's very much an all or nothing thing.
Vampires ain't got nothing to offer you.
Nothing they can give, no. Vampires do not understand the avant-garde.
I mean, you're a vampire, so that's clearly not true. All right, but yeah. Good job, team.
Vampires have a lot to give. We got time to understand things mortals just can't. I think you're painting vampire society with a pretty broad brush. We got some redeeming values.
Oh, perhaps. But an understanding of the stage is not one of them. You know, I see what you are doing. The motivations of man are well known to me through my art.
And what am I doing?
You are mocking me, undermining me, causing me to doubt myself. I know thy purpose, wretch.
Okay, we've been here already.
This therapy business is all a ruse. You would lay me low and claim dominion over me.
Yeah, we've over this exact ground before.
All I'm trying to do is help you, friend. Reality's a lot easier to deal with when you can accept it for what it is.
So, now you doubt my sanity? Is there no end to your japes and jabs? I shall not break. Oh, you shall see. The tides of cruel seas will crash upon me, but I do not wither. I know thy game, trickster. You wish to keep me in your debt. The more I doubt myself, the more you take from me. You think you are clever, but thy tongue outvenoms all the worms of the Nile. Well, what have you to say for yourself? Speak, that I might hear thy bile.
Okay, well, you know what? It worked. It worked so well last time. Let's just go straight to taming him like a wild horse.
Easy there.
What?
I know you're upset and you're scared. I ain't gonna hurt you.
But you want to hurt me.
Good vampire. Ain't you sweet? Yeah, it's all right.
You really don't want to hurt me? You'll keep me safe?
Okay, this treat him like a wild horse thing is working suspiciously well.
We're safe. Ain't no place safer than right here. We're friends. That's right. You're my buddy now. Just my pal Eddie.
In truth, I am oft left bereft of friendship. Our kind can be difficult.
I don't see how. Well, with your effervescent personality and all that.
You mean vampires?
No, actors. But to sense one is not alone in all the world is a feeling to be cherished.
You ain't alone, I promise you. Whatever bad stuff we're living, someone else has lived it already.
'Tis so. Many geniuses were unappreciated in their time, with wonders of their craft consigned to history's dusty pages. Even the bard himself did struggle. There is some comfort in that.
Common nocturnality. We all got the same needs, man. Blood, safety, and sex.
Indeed. I, too, am akin to the doomed Achilles, though my sore spot lies not so low, but twixt stem and stern.
Tain't my place to comment.
Oh, it seems the spot is no secret to you after all.
Maybe we can talk about that some more in your next session. I think you did pretty dang well today.
Yes, I suppose I did. I am rather good at therapy, aren't I?
Sure you are, pal.
If you're here and wanting to get better, yeah, I'd say that makes you pretty good at therapy.
Well, one mustn't rest on one's laurels, must one?
That's right, Eddie. Okay, I'll see you in a few weeks then.
Aye, we shall vanquish my demons together. I cannot tarry. The stage awaits.
Dang, what the hell was that?
One of the darker malignancies of the mind, dear Samuel.
You sure I'm up to this?
Begone, fiend!
Thank you, Rek, and good timing on that as well.
You were masterful, Samuel. You were able to take your knowledge about cognitive distortions and turn their definitions outward. And we must speak about this equine ability of yours in your next session.
Yeah, I want to hear know more about this too.
Oh, that. Yeah, I learned a lot about myself through my horse.
Save it for our next session. Rest, Samuel. You have faced a great danger. Now it is time to drink and be merry with the Goths.
Oh, not sure I'd call them merry, but they know how to cut loose. All right, Andy, I'll see you later.
Good night, Samuel. Rest in peace.
Okay, so that's 3. Presumably we got one more client.
Well, that was one of the weirdest experiences of my life.
So let's see. Edmund is afraid to get back into acting because he's afraid of getting anything but universal praise. Self-centered mindset, you don't say. Believes he determined what acting must be. Diminishes the thoughts and opinions of others. Champion gaslighter. Tried to convince me I was attacking him. Sees the world through theater. Next time, I'd like to dig in on where all this comes from. Why is this fella so insecure?
I probably want to forget that. I should go talk to Crimson.
If it isn't Sammy the Kid, plop that butt down. Got a shot prepared for you.
Well, thanks, Crimson. What is that? A Bloody Mary?
No, a Bloody Steve.
Of course it is. How's the crowd tonight?
You know, it's funny. They're a little on the weird side tonight. Must be a full moon out.
Or Edmund's hanging out for some weird reason.
Oh, you ain't kidding. I just had my first therapy session with the strangest fella I ever met. The actor type. Used to be an international celebrity back when I was alive. Seems like fame's a nasty drug.
Like Andy says, people are people. Doesn't matter what era they're from. Feeling good about your session, though?
Well, I mean, we didn't have... unless the options that were not treating him like a horse were actually wrong, I think we actually did okay.
He was pretty confrontational, but he was happy to talk about himself at least. Andy says the real clients to worry about are the ones who've got nothing to say.
I get that. Being a human isn't easy. You gotta be pretty damn privileged to have no problems at all.
Oh, this fella definitely has plenty of problems. I think he'll be keeping me busy.
It's a big world out there, cowboy. Full of vampires with no self-awareness.
Well, ain't that the truth? Well, here's to change then.
To change.
You, drinking Andy's blood there?
Andy's? Nuh-uh, this is a plain old mortal drink. You think anyone would want to drink that man's blood from a bottle when they can get it straight from the source?
I suppose they wouldn't.
They dropped the ma'am there.
I'm not proud to drink blood, Sam. Wouldn't be doing it out here.
I didn't mean to cause offense, ma'am.
There we go.
Not your fault. I guess I shouldn't be offended.
No, that's... No, again, says who?
Who's telling you that you shouldn't be offended, Crimson? I know this blood drinking stuff is complicated.
Damn right it is. Look, I have customers to deal with, but let me give you some advice, Buffalo Bill. No therapy in here. What happens at Emmonach happens with consent. Got it?
All right, that's fair, and my sincere apologies. It won't happen again.
That's right.
Oh, dang it. I've gone and made myself unwelcome. I better get out of Crimson's way.
You.
Oh, hi. Panoptibella. I can definitely see the motif there. Two of the normal eyes, and then all up top, earrings, bow tie, and the sweater.
Huh? Do I know you?
I know you. I've been watching you, vampire.
Okay.
Yep, that's me, drinking blood to live.
Yes, you do. I saw you. I see everything. My name is Penoptibella. It means I see all, and I am beautiful. I saw you in the kink room with Reinhardt and Maxi.
Yeah, that was like 3 weeks ago.
And now I see that you are thirsty and would like to drink.
Yep, that is so.
Come, drink from my neck. I wish to see what it is like.
Oh.
Yes, I see now. That was very pleasant. Thank you. You will go to your coffin now to sleep.
Well, if you wanted to cuddle.
It is normal for vampires to enter a state of torpor after consuming the blood of another. I wish you an excellent torpor, vampire.
Thanks, I guess. I guess I'd better get some shut-eye. This night has gone on long enough.
That was one of the interactions of all time.
Good evening, Samuel. I hope you are feeling well rested. I have a new client for you.
Okay, May 3rd, 2024. Just finished up with a new client, and this guy was loud. Fella nearly burned the saloon down with his gaslighting superpowers. He's an actor type, which I don't have a lot of experience with. I never really got into theater stuff, except maybe for some vaudeville. Something about watching people tumbling and smacking each other with blunt objects just speaks to the soul. Oh, so I pissed off Crimson last night. Tried to do the whole therapy thing on her without her permission, and she was hopping mad. I gotta remind myself that just because I'm learning to become a therapist, that don't make me everyone's therapist.
Another one? I think my caseload's starting to get a little crowded.
Worry not, my friend. I shall not unload all the world's cares onto you. I know how strongly this next client requires aid. She is a great deal older than most of the clients you've seen, and sometimes it is harder for the elderly to see reality. It took me far too long to do so.
She's as old as you are?
Not nearly. Thus, she should be more ready for change than I was. Take a look at her intake form.
Name Medba? Age 1804. Oh, from the Bronze Age. Okay. An elder vampire like myself, Meddy, has lived mostly alone for the past 2 millennia. Well, that'll make you weird right there. She grew up among wanton violence between Irish clan warlords and has since kept distance between herself and mortals. She now spends more of her time online, where she has become a quote-unquote streaming celebrity. Oh no. We're dealing with a streamer. I do not know what this means, but perhaps a younger vampire might. She has expressed frustration at the increasing demands of her followers. Oh no. A streamer with a demanding chat. Suggestion: be patient with the elderly.
Dang, she died young. Makes me wonder why I waited so long to kick the bucket. Could have left her nicer looking corpse.
Alas, death does not often allow us to have much choice in the matter.
Says here she doesn't leave home unless she has to.
Indeed, it is a puzzle, as elder vampires can often be.
I sure do hope I can help her.
Is there like DoorDash for blood? Yeah, exactly. I mean, who here actually just leaves home for the fun of it? If you did that, why would you be on Twitch?
You will do your best, I know. Let me allow you some privacy. She comes.
Okay, so a Bronze Age vampire who streams. you leave the house for fun when you have to. So yeah, I know that yeah, Ruach, the for fun and have to feel like they're kind of in tension there.
Hello?
Oh, hi. Oh, she is. So either she's rocking contact lenses or she's a vampire with heterochromia.
Hey there, how do I say your name? Is it, Medby?
Mev is my real name. Medby's just my screen name. You can call me Meddy if you like.
Oh, mighty fine meeting you, Meddy. I'm Sam.
Is that all you are?
I couldn't rightly say. I ain't no more or less than Sam.
You're cute, strange cowboy man.
I don't know that you should be calling your potential therapist cute, miss.
Not in a touching bodies way. I mean, you're more like a rabbit or a mouse. Oh, I want to dress you up in a little mouse onesie and watch you scurry about.
Oh gosh, she really is a streamer.
You can keep your hat on and be a little cowboy mouse. Oh, I like that very much. I'd keep you in a little cage and give you lots of cheese and, of course, a wheel to run on. You can be my whiskery little pet.
What is the matter, Samuel?
I think Sam's as thrown by this as we are.
I think I'm out of my depth here, Chief. I ain't keen to be anyone's pet.
Older vampires such as myself can sometimes be uncomfortable to be around. I believe this will be an excellent challenge in setting boundaries, Samuel. Explain to her your boundaries. You will be modeling positive behavior and saving yourself a little trouble.
What kinds of onesie do I have? I do not possess any onesies. The closest thing to a onesie I have is all the cold weather clothing I bought to go to Sweden back in January. I think I did have I rented a snowsuit when I was there. Maybe that might count, but no, I go out of my way not to buy clothes that are unitaskers. If I buy something for if I buy clothing, I at least want it to be something I can wear out in public.
Yeah, just a little.
All the more reason to be clear and polite right now. Good luck, Samuel. I know you can do it.
You look distracted, little mouse. Have you smelt a bit of cheese? Did your whiskers twitch?
All right, miss, before we keep going, I think we need to set a few boundaries.
Streaming is public. Okay, yeah, okay. Ruach, do you see a webcam on this stream? It wouldn't do much good to have a onesie on a stream where there's no cam. I could be in a top hat and tails right now. You wouldn't know.
First of all, I ain't gonna wear no onesie. I don't think I could find one that'd fit.
I could sew one for you. I would make the neck hole really big so that your funny hat would fit right through it.
Okay, well, maybe I wasn't being clear. I don't want to wear a onesie.
But it would make me happy.
Well, it wouldn't make me happy, miss.
Fine. But I don't like it.
I don't eat cheese, you know that. We only drink blood anyway. Mortal food doesn't exactly agree with us.
But a mouse who doesn't eat cheese is hardly a mouse.
But I'm not a mouse.
Then why do you have twitchy whiskers?
I just like the way they look.
So do I. That's why I think you should eat some cheese.
Well, I ain't gonna. Take it or leave it.
You're very mean for a mouse.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Jen. I had no idea onesies were standard streamer attire.
This stuff about putting me in a cage and making me your pet are things you should be doing with a blood partner. Besides, I make the rules about my own body. If I don't want something, you gotta respect it or find a new therapist.
Hey, Cal, good to see you. How is your Thursday? Your Friday going? God, I almost wound the clock back to Thursday. Let me not do that. But good to see you, Cal. We are taking in the full release of Vampire Therapist. I know I spread the word about this one on Dan and Jeng's chat, so or on their Discord, excuse me. Yes, I had such a good time doing the demo last month that decided to. It got full release as of midnight yesterday, my time, and yeah, I decided to jump right in. Yeah, it is very much not Thursday, thankfully.
You don't want me to do things to your body?
You cut that out. I'm serious now.
Very well. Be that way.
I think that about covers it.
Very well. It's a little boring. People usually let me do what I want to do to them.
Yeah, it is. It is. I know I know it's very talky, so it's not a Dan kind of game, but it is quite fun. And the writing's really, it's funny, it's sharp, it deals with the topic seriously, but not in like a heavy-handed way. And I will say the it's all based off of real cognitive behavioral therapy techniques. So we got, and so what we do, like we're this guy, Sam Walls, vampire from the American Old West, and so we are here in modern day Leipzig, and we're learning how to be a therapist for other vampires. And so yeah, now we're here we've had 3 other clients, kind of a more modernish doctor, Dr. Drayne, Isabella from the Renaissance, a Georgian period actor, and now Meddy here, who is 1,800 years old from Bronze Age Ireland. And yeah, I guess pale skin, red hair. You gotta go back to lurking? Okay, no worries. That's like with the dating. Okay, no, this is not a dating sim. Much as I might wish otherwise. No, we're just here to help people. Well, I was gonna say we're not here for romance. We walk up to the line a bit.
Well, this is less boring then. It's something new.
I suppose you're right. It's very clever, strange cowboy man. May I still call you a mouse from time to time, though?
If it'll make you feel comfortable, I guess it ain't hurting me.
You can fix her. Well, yeah, I don't know. Her being all like pleasant and cute and agreeable, that might make her the most dangerous of all.
But let's get to you and why you're here. Now, it said on your intake form that...
Okay, it's not climate change. Expressed frustration at the increasing demands of her followers. Okay, so I'm going to take that as she's overworked.
You're overworked, it said. You're not my first client with that problem. What line of work you in?
I play video games.
Imagine playing video games as a job.
Video games? Like Star Invaders?
No, silly. More like Overcharged 2 and Pension Impact. More of an FPS and RPG girl.
I don't know what them things are. I kind of figured video games were just a fad, like collecting ferns was in my time.
Exactly, Jen. It's no self-respecting person would ever play video games for public consumption. Imagine. Pension Impact. Maybe it's a high octane finance based video game. Who knows? They got every kind of simulator these days.
Video games are lots of fun. There's even one where you get to play a cowboy and kill bunches and bunches of people.
I feel like there's more than one of those, but go off, girl.
Then you get to pretend you feel bad about it. But after that, you kill even more people.
What? I can't imagine what game she might be referring to.
Shucks, that there might give me some flashbacks. But you're working by playing video games? How's that?
I stream on Glitch. I have millions and millions of followers there.
Okay, now I call bullshit. Millions of followers. She's probably partner plus plus on there.
Wait just a gosh darn minute. People are paying to watch you pee?
What, Sam, what?
Of course not. That sort of thing would be on my Only Zealots page. If I could pee. Which I can't, because I'm a vampire.
Ah, yes, live streaming.
Alright, you gotta walk me through this. What's streaming mean if it ain't peeing?
Streaming means to share your computer screen to the internet.
Like watching the cinema, only instead of people shooting each other, it's you answering emails?
I mean, let's be honest, there's probably a category for that on Twitch.
Sort of. Mostly people just like to watch people shooting other people. Only it's little computer people that only look like people.
Clear as mud. I got some more questions about them funny things you mentioned, though.
Okay, Samuel, do we really want to ask this question?
What's Only Zealots?
That's a very special website where my very special followers get to see me do naughty things for money.
You've been around a long while. Do you need money?
No, of course not. But I do like having mortal bloodbags who will do anything for me. They're very useful.
Like they'll even give you their Glitch Prime subscription.
This whole thing makes me feel old.
But you're only a baby vampire, strange cowboy man. I'm glad you're not the kind of baby who poops and pees, though. That's quite icky.
I had some more questions.
Anything other than this.
What's all this RPG and FPS stuff?
Role-playing games and first-person shooters.
Kinda dark to be playing games about the first person you ever shot. That ain't a good moment.
You're extra silly. It's a video game with a first-person perspective. It only looks as though you're shooting someone. I like the ones where there's lots and lots of blood. I end up feeling quite hungry.
Imagine.
Are they still using corn syrup to look like blood? It never looked realistic to me.
They don't use corn syrup in video games. You're very funny.
I'm glad I'm funny, I guess. Let me ask you something else about these video games.
Yeah. Don't bother, Samuel. Yeah, you know everything now.
All right, I think I understand a little better. You're working pretty dang hard for all them followers. What do you need them for?
Lots of things. They pay my rent for me. They buy clothes and gifts for me.
You just said you didn't need money, though.
They dispose of all the bodies. And they let me kill them, too. They're all so eager to die. Poor little lambs.
Okay, that... Well, okay, let just for a second, though. If people actually were seriously going to pay money for a gamer girl's bathwater, how much of a leap is it to, say, let a gamer vampire girl just up and kill you? Is it that much of a stretch? I dare say no. But yeah. There's it's really like there's the it's another person who loves to be in control. Actually, I think they all have. Yeah, Edmund thought he be the God's gift to cinema, or to the theater. Excuse me. Isabella was trying to single-handedly provide meaning to art, and Dr. Drayne, I think he was, he alone could, solve the mystery of blood. Yeah, I think they all have control issues. How much should they pay for bathwater? Okay, I'll ask you what I asked Sam, Jen. Do you really want to know the answer to that question? Because this is the internet, and you might find out.
They're like servants?
Servants, little sheep, whatever you'd like to call them.
And they're willing to just up and die for you?
Oh, naturally. Sometimes all I have to do is smile for them. They find it enchanting. And they quite like my breasts and vulva.
I mean, we assumed that.
Oh, I see.
Does it make you uncomfortable to hear me say breasts and vulva?
I reckon I just wasn't expecting that level of candidness.
Breasts, vulva.
Hey, come on now.
Oh, but it's so much fun to watch your little whiskers twitch.
Yeah, and then this is another common theme throughout the game, Jen. About Americans are uncomfortable with pronouncing foreign words and foreign languages, but they're even more uncomfortable with anything to do with sex. At least according to the makers of this game, who all happen to be based in Berlin, surprisingly enough.
So these followers of yours do a lot of work for you, huh?
But I have almost 100 million little sheep. It's rather difficult to manage them all and keep them happy.
Why do you need to keep so many servants happy?
I need my sheep. If I don't have them, I'll have nothing.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty clear Nosferatu thinking.
Is it really true that if you don't have your followers, you won't have anything? Ain't you got other stuff you're interested in?
I suppose I enjoy reading and video games. And I can do those things alone.
You're darn tootin' you can.
There's also playing games with my body.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, yep, there's that.
Which Americans don't do. You like to shoot people instead. Bang, pow.
That ain't always true. But let's get back to what you were saying.
If I don't make them all happy, they'll turn against me.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a control that assumes a level of control that you probably don't have.
Oh, wait a minute, that's one of them double control fallacies.
A control fallacy? What is that, manling?
It's the idea that you either have complete control over something or no control over something. The idea that you can make everyone happy is something that ain't in anyone's power. And assuming you have no control and they'll all turn against you ain't true either.
That is true, I suppose. I can do things you couldn't dream of. But I won't show them to you because you're an American.
That is much appreciated, miss. And now about the stuff you were saying.
All I'll be is the lonely, crazy girl with a flat full of stinky corpses.
And that's pretty well labeling, even if she thinks it's true.
Let's ease off them labeling terms. Don't go calling yourself crazy.
But I am crazy. And I know how strange I sound to these short-lived creatures.
I reckon I might sound the same if I were around as long as you and seen some of the stuff you've seen. Besides, crazy ain't got any kind of real meaning. What's sane? You've been around a while, you know them definitions change all the time.
I suppose that's true. Don't think any of us are really sane.
I think that's a heck of a lot closer to the truth.
I just want to look at my body parts anyway. Don't know much else to share, it seems.
Okay, and that's disqualifying the positive. If she's on glitch, I mean, she must know that there are people who just enjoy a quality FPS run.
Come on now, you've been around for nearly 2,000 years. How in the heck could you have nothing to offer? I'm sure you could tell me all sorts of things about history and the places you've been to and the things you've done.
If I talk about things I like, my followers abandon me. Fickle little bloodbags. They always like it when I show off, though.
That's a problem with your followers, not you. Don't go disqualifying the positive things about yourself just because they don't see them.
Very kind, manling. If you were one of my followers, I might even let you live.
A very kind gesture, miss.
I can't help but think, though, I should make my little sheep happy. After all, they are willing to die for me.
Again, says who, though? I mean, I feel, yes, that the fact that they are willing to die for you, it has no bearing on what you should or shouldn't do.
You say you should keep your followers happy. Do you like it when they're happy?
Just because I kill my bloodbags doesn't mean I wish to be cruel. After all, they're so cute when they die with smiles on their precious little faces.
I'm glad to hear that, but here's the thing. When you say you should make them happy, you turn it into a responsibility. If you got 100 million people you should please, that's pressure you don't need. Get what I'm saying?
You are too sweet, little mouse. Like a sugar mouse. Someone might try to eat you.
Heck, they already did. How do you think I turned into a vampire?
You make me seem very silly for worrying so much about my bloodbags. Not a very good vampire, am I?
Well, what's a good vampire supposed to do?
Well, my blood father used to tell me that we were supposed to be gods. Told me that we would rule all humanity. I imagine he'd be ever so disappointed in me.
I don't know if you got that kind of sway over hundreds of millions of people. I bet that probably be pretty impressed.
Well, blood parents are always complicated. They like continuing their legacies, but people ain't too good at being anything but themselves.
I wish someone would tell him that. He's a very bad listener.
Well, you should be proud of yourself for getting away from him. I know it ain't easy.
I didn't leave him. The druid sealed him away long ago. He'll slow our soul when he escapes. And there will be nothing we can do. Oh, it's gonna be ever so much blood.
Huh, okay, that feels... nothing we can do. Yeah, no, I'm gonna say that's a... yeah, that's a control. It's assuming helplessness.
I think we can handle a vampire. There's a lot more of us now, and I bet the bastard ain't even heard of a gun.
You don't understand. He's a wizard.
Well, last I heard, wizards ain't bulletproof. Let's give ourselves a little credit. I ain't gonna worry too much about this fella. Besides, if he is coming back to kill us all, we only got so much time to enjoy, right? These dang followers of yours have got you stuck at home, though.
It's better this way. It's not safe outside.
Well, why do you say that?
Because there are bad people out there. They've tried to burn me, touch me, enslave me. They are cruel and horrible.
Okay. I think, yeah, it's either labeling or Nosferatu thinking. Okay, I mean, there are bad people out there. That is, I mean, that kind of a factual statement. Okay, I think the operative bit is they are cruel and horrible.
I know you've been through some tough times, Meddy, and you got a hell of a lot of reasons to think people are all awful. But those experiences ain't the be-all and end-all. There's a lot of bad, a lot of good, and even more in between.
Maybe. But it's safer to assume that it's all bad. Mortals are very afraid, and when mortals are afraid, they are quite cruel.
That's more of that all-or-nothing thinking. There's billions of people out there now, and more differences between each and every one of them than you'd expect.
But I don't need to endanger myself anymore. I have my sheep.
How's that working out for you?
I'm sure we'll get to talking about them real soon.
We can talk about them now. They help me stay in my flat. If I stay in one place, I have power. Instead of them burning me, I can burn them. And touch them and enslave them.
I mean, that sounds like all kinds of a control fallacy.
With all due respect, miss, you're playing with sunshine here. Life is always going to change. That's the one thing we can be sure of. Your retreating from society is only going to make it harder to face the changes ahead.
Such as when the machines arrived.
What machines are you talking about?
The ones in the factories. The ones who made me leave the bog. Did not like that very much. Not at all.
Oh, look, I didn't want to upset you. You're here to handle the world a little better, and that means being honest about what might happen. That makes sense?
Yes. The machines keep getting stronger. I should be ready for them.
All right. Well, let's keep talking.
They used to call me Calich Namona, the witch of the bogs. I like it that way. I like it when they think I'm a monster.
Yeah, witch, monster, clear labeling.
Oh, hold on a sec, Meddy. I get that there's safety in people thinking you're some kind of monster. But what I can't abide is you calling yourself one. Names have power. You know what they used to call me?
Fuzzy McWhiskers. Scaly Tail Sam. Ooh, Scurrying Sam.
They called me Slaughtering Sam. And as you might imagine, I didn't earn many friends with that name.
Yeah, we hadn't heard his full-on nickname. That he just called himself a murdering bastard. But I think the fact that the B was capitalized suggests that maybe his gang was called the Bastards.
That's not very cute at all.
No, it ain't. I didn't feel cute neither. I felt like an evil bastard, and that ain't a good feeling.
I didn't say I liked being a monster. It just makes me feel safe.
Then let's find a way to help you feel safe without calling yourself a monster then, huh? But keep going.
If I want to be safe, I should show them what a monster I really am from the safety of my lair.
Says who?
Well, why should you show them what a monster you are?
So that they'll know to stay away, of course.
I mean, you could just tell them to stay away if you've got them in your thrall thusly.
And is that the only way people will stay away?
It's the way I know. I used to put severed heads outside my cottage, but the policemen don't like that very much.
So what if I said you should protect yourself by putting severed heads outside your place again?
I'd say you should learn otherwise. The police can be very mean.
That's what I mean. Should doesn't allow a lot of wiggle room. It might seem like it's just words, but them words can lock us up tighter in a bank vault. But let's keep talking.
Living alone is the life I know, anyway. Well, I've known for millennia. I can't survive in society now.
Okay, see, assuming helplessness. I mean, if you can be a successful streamer on Glitch, I would imagine you have at least some skills, some interpersonal skills that where you could operate in society. Yeah, I'm gonna call that a control fallacy.
We ancient vampires are very few. I can tell you with some certainty that your client is very good at hiding her true capabilities, perhaps even from herself.
Oh, or not.
Living alone is the life I know, anyway. Well, I've known for millennia. I can't survive in society now.
We ancient vampires are very few.
Living alone is the life I know, anyway. Well, I've known for millennia.
We ancient vampires.
God.
Living alone is the life I know, anyway. Well, I've known for...
You know, you're what, some 1,800 years old? You're older than any government on Earth. You've seen the world change in ways none of us could dream of. Hell, you basically won the internet, and I can barely open up my Vmail program. You're way more capable than you're giving yourself credit for.
I suppose that's true. But I'm not very good with real-life people. Unless I'm eating them.
You're still disqualifying the positive by canceling out all them skills you got. You can use all that modern lingo I barely even heard of. You dab, fam?
That was close to a sentence.
That was ages ago.
See what I'm saying?
You are very clever, sweetling. It is easy to forget how small and weak mortals are. The world is a big place full of things that might try to hurt me.
Well, before you face the world, why don't we start with your neighborhood? Let's start slow. Take a walk around your block, 15 minutes a day. Just spend a little time outside looking at the moon.
I suppose if anyone tries to hurt me, I should be able to kill them or enslave them. Very well, strange cowboy man. If anyone does kill me, I'll simply become a ghost. Then I can whisk myself up your bottom with a little ghost needle and poke at your guts.
I don't think it'll come to that. Just spend some time outside and see how you feel, and we'll talk again in a month. Sound good?
Touch the midnight grass.
Very well. I suppose my followers outside must be eager to carry my coffin home. Promised I would eat them when we got there, so shouldn't keep them waiting.
Okay. So she had a retinue carrier here. Yes, this man, the partner program is really good on Glitch.
Farewell then, little mouse.
Hoo-wee!
Well done, my friend. You seem a little out of sorts. Are you quite all right?
She was something else.
Like so many of our kind, she simply struggles to adjust to a constantly changing world. I think you will be of great help to her. She clearly likes you.
That's what I'm afraid of.
You are under my protection while you are here, Samuel. I guarantee no ghosts will travel up your posterior.
But what if I want them to?
You have done excellent work tonight. Please, relax downstairs. Summer will be here before we know it, and the nights shall become short once again. Rest in peace, my friend.
Okay, we should go apologize to Crimson.
Tarnation. I'm glad the kids here aren't glued to their little TVs.
Little TVs. Yeah, that's what they really are. Okay, Meddy is feeling overwhelmed by her followers on social media and their demands. She relies on them for food and help with dealing with mortals. Talks about mortals as if they're all the same. spends a lot of time online, creates strong one-way attachments with their followers, needs to get outside bad at boundaries. I think next time I should figure out why she's got such a simple view of mortals. Maybe she'd be better off if she didn't see them as ants. Yeah, ants with wallets in particular.
I wonder why that is. I'll bet Crimson knows.
Giddy up, little doggy.
I ain't heard that one in a while.
Truth is, I'm running out of cowboy terms. What can I get you, handsome?
How about a kind ear for my troubles?
You got a real old school way of seeing bartenders. But in this case, you're right. I am a good listener. Lay it on me.
I got this new client. It makes me feel old.
250-year-old man feels old, huh?
Yeah. But seriously, I thought I understood people, but she's from another time, like. I've been around a long time, and I ain't seen nothing quite like this internet. But my client lives there.
And you think you can't help her because you don't understand the internet?
No, the capitalization of internet. Yeah, we're trying to remain positive. Sam's a generally positive guy.
I reckon I can be of some aid. Just gotta figure out all this technology. My dial-up modem might not be up to today's standard.
I mean, this is set in 2024. The fact that he's still rocking a dial-up modem is impressive on its own.
Maybe you were right. You are ancient. But I'm glad you're feeling confident, cowboy. A vampire who can adapt is a mighty fine one.
Gosh.
Here's the thing, cowboy. Nobody understands the internet. I don't feel old yet, though. Still just glad to be alive, thanks to Andy's blood.
Oh, yeah?
I know you've been curious about why I've been drinking vampire blood. You don't have to pretend. I've got a rare blood cancer. Andy's blood is what's keeping me alive.
Oh, okay, that took a turn.
Oh, I'm real sorry.
I didn't say I was dying. I said I had cancer. Stop making that face. I'm just glad I found Andy. Don't think I was quite ready to die.
I, for one, am glad you're sticking around, Crimson.
Well, thank you kindly. So what'll it be, Sam? You ain't gonna dance?
No, I ain't gonna dance.
You owe me that story one day, cowboy. Here, have a little something I whipped up for Andy. Herbal blood tea.
Oh, nice. Doesn't even come in a little rectangular green box.
No garlic, right?
No garlic.
Mighty kind of you. Maybe I'll take a nightcap. You have yourself a fine night, Crimson.
Adios, muchacho.
I think that's my last client for a while. My caseload's big enough. I'm starting to get overwhelmed. Maybe something from one of my books will inspire me. But then again, I could watch cartoons instead.
Okay, well, the cartoon, well, would the cartoon really help understand the internet? It probably depends on the cartoon. But given Sam's tastes, it would probably be something like, Steamboat Willie. Or like black and white Bugs Bunny. Let's especially if I'm right and we have Dr. Drayne coming next, let's get all poetical.
I think I'll read a poem. I've got one I love. Care of one, Walt Whitman. I celebrate myself and sing myself, and what I assume you shall assume. For every atom belonging to me, as good belongs to you. I loaf and invite my soul. I lean and loaf at my ease, observing a spear of summer grass. My tongue, every atom of my blood, formed from this soil, this air, born here of parents born here, from parents the same, and their parents the same. I, now 37 years old, in perfect health begin, hoping to cease not till death.
Okay, and not quite sure what those are, but...
Creeds and schools in abeyance. Retiring back a while, sufficed it what they are, but never forgotten. I harbor for good or bad. I permit to speak at every hazard. Nature without check, with original energy. Just a little reminder that I'm still human. I think that's enough action for one night. Time I got me some shut-eye. Good night, son.
A fine evening to you, Samuel. How are you feeling tonight?
Well, first let's check our diary. May 10th. So I know the internet's been driving the mortals batty, but dang if it isn't affecting us vampires too. I got a new client that has half the world watching her play video games online. What's that all about? Next thing you know, they'll be making cinemas where you stand behind the screen and watch folks making the movies. The world sure is a strange place. Andy says that's it for new clients, and I'm grateful for that. I've been feeling a little cooped up here in the city. I'm taking a weekend trip to the mountains out in Harz. Gonna take the Autobahn. I'm past fear and death anyway. Okay. Well, I tell you what, it's pushing 1 a.m. If I'm right, and actually we can check. Okay, so it's May. So that was May 10th. So presumably this is May 17th. Yeah, so we should be seeing Dr. Drayne again today. So if that's the case, I think this might be a good place to put in a pause, like kind of a midway point. Now I don't know how many times we're seeing each client, so it might be multiple times, but I think this makes for a good stopping point. Oh, we can save. I didn't even know that. Okay, it's not gonna let me go to the main menu. There we go. All right. Well, yes. So we're gonna leave it there for tonight. Yeah, that was fun. Really, I had it was everything we saw in the demo and more. And we got 4 clients now instead of 2, and we have plenty of achievements to go through. I say that the writing continued as it was. As I say, it's been really on point, and we have built out our list of cognitive distortions. And yeah, I'm really interested to see where this goes, and like who we can help, and then and what happens like after we're done with them. And I would like to see how deep this rabbit hole goes. We'll leave it there. So appreciate folks hanging out. So Jen, Ruak, appreciate you all being here. Cal, appreciate you stopping by. And then Will was here earlier. Hopefully his work doesn't ask too much of him, and then Andrea as well. But yeah, appreciate all you chatties. Appreciate the lurkers. But let's close things out by finding someone to raid, and we can pass the love on to someone else. So let's see. We got some Once Human going on. Frostpunk. Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've raided Sick of Antics. Let me check in with him, see if he's still on. And Frostpunk is just a fun, very chill place to hang out anyway. in all the manners of speaking. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go raid Sick of Antics. So if you can, please stick around for the raid. Show Sick of Antics some love. They are very, excellent variety streamer. Very British, but maybe not as British as our man Edmund, but still very much so. But yeah, I have a thing early tomorrow morning. Hoping I can get there and out. And I'm gonna try to get to bed before too long here, and then what we'll probably do is we'll play more of this tomorrow night, and then Sunday I have a good feeling that we can finish Cyberpunk. I think we're that close. But yeah, thank you all again for hanging out. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.